That'senough.com. My name is Jameer. What's going on, family? You guys might have seen our next guest on the Hot Box. He's definitely dope. He comes from New York, bred and born, Long Island, Queens, stand up. My man Fresh. Brodie Fresh, what's popping, man?
What's going on, man?
How you? Dap? Because I don't want to give you the flu or whatever
Absolutely.
I got.
Now we keeping it. We good.
We good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm blessed, man. How you?
I'm good, man.
Right.
I appreciate you for stopping by.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, just sitting here with you right now. Let's just talk about the beginning real quick before we get into everything dope that you're doing. Reading up on you, it's a very interesting story, and I respect your background and where you come from.
Definitely appreciate it.
Just talk about growing up in Long Island and how you kind of came to be who you are right now.
I mean, coming up, I'm originally from Hollis, Queens. I moved around a couple of different times actually. At a young age, my parents got divorced when I was like 3, 4. So my mother moved to Far Rockaway, my grandmother, and my father, we moved to Queens, to like Astoria area. And then we eventually wound up moving to Elmont when I was like 6, 7 years old. And I pretty much stayed there from there until now. I mean, growing up, my life was a little different. My father was shot when I was like a year before I was born.
Wow.
So with that, he lost his foot. So like from the time I've known my dad, I've never really been able to do certain things, ride a bike or, like until like later on in life. When I was 8, he got a below the knee amputee. And from then, like things kind of changed. I was able to do more things with him. He had a false leg and, we could do more things. But, obviously growing up like that's a little different. My parents kind of bounced around a little bit. They got divorced and they got back together. So, at a young age, it was kind of like a lot going on. But, I feel like I learned a lot of lessons from that. And just seeing my dad, the fact that my dad is like one of the strongest people to me ever in life. And just seeing those things and them get past those things, it kind of just helped me. Back then, I never would have thought like that I would be a rapper. I mean, like I had no idea. I was actually in like a little rap group in church when I was like 7, but I didn't want to be a rapper. It was kind of like, oh, all the kids, don't be in this rap group. Like get in this rap group and everybody say these lines, But it was kind of crazy to be here today and be like, man, like I'm actually a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad always tells this story, like when I was born with like really bad asthma, to the point where like I couldn't really even run from like anywhere, like 10 feet without like foaming from the mouth and having to get on a ventilator and stuff like that. So like the doctors used to always tell him like, he'll probably never play sports or be able to like, hang out with the kids and stuff like that because of his sickness and, we're not sure what's really gonna happen for him. And back then, my dad wasn't into church. His best friend was into church, and he told him, oh, let's go to this church in Pennsylvania. And, they're having like a healing ceremony. And my dad's like, man, if I go and he dies, his wife, his mother, because they were divorced, his mother's going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? But he went, and he stood in line like for like 4 hours. And right before it was his turn to go, they stopped the line. And he's like, this is crazy.
That's crazy.
We wound up going all the way back to New York. And like 2 weeks after that, I never had asthma again. So, like, my dad told me, like maybe a couple months ago, I was talking to him about music and just telling him, like, even though I make club records and stuff like that, I kind of do that for the people, but I'm really into, like, the life kind of music and stuff that really touches the people. That's, like, my point in music, And he was just like, it's crazy because exactly what you're telling me, like, God told me that you were going to be, like, a voice for your generation, like, when they told me that you no longer had asthma. And he's like, and I never told you that, like, ever in life. So the fact that you're repeating it to me right now pretty much is like showing me that this is what you're supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool, man. It's definitely kind of cool.
Wow. I mean,
I know we took it kind of a whole nother direction.
Yeah. I didn't expect to get into all that. But,
right.
I mean, I guess that's a testament, like I said before, it's a testament to
Absolutely.
show that, you here to do this and this is what you were meant to be. So,
right.
At a young age, wow, you got healed. See, all right, so traditionally I ain't really believe in all that,
right.
The healing of the hands.
Yeah, me either.
Right. But, I mean, you caught something. You caught a good,
Yeah, to be able to not have, because I literally do not have asthma.
Right.
I wound up playing, I was all county basketball, football, lacrosse in high school, you know what I'm saying? So I box. Like I never ever had like a problem breathing or nothing like that. So it's kind of crazy to me. I used to tell a story and I'm like, bro, like you're bugging. But then my other family, my aunts and I'm like, no, it's true, really sick, like for real. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy, man. But it's a blessing. I feel like everything happens for a reason. So
when did you start take it seriously? Because like this is pretty much new.
Right.
Like when you hear stories about rappers, it's usually, they start off when they're really young, but you
Right.
kind of have a different story. You started not too long ago, like
yeah,
maybe
I started
around
around 5 years ago,
Yeah.
pretty much. I wrote probably like my first rap like playing around like maybe like end of 2009, but then like even then it wasn't even like on some like, oh, I want to be a rapper. Like I was just like freestyling with my friends kind of thing.
Do you remember it?
No.
No, okay.
I do not remember.
Because you're supposed to remember.
I lost my
first,
BlackBerry, man, like
you
mid
draked
2011.
it?
Yeah,
You
I did,
draked
man.
it?
I draked
Okay.
it. I lost it,
Okay.
and I lost all of those. But I started like really, really rapping like January 2010. I remember I was actually in Westbury with my man D-Man, and I had told him like, yo, bro, I wrote the song. Like, I think I want to rap. I think I got like a story to tell. And he was like, yo, like go for it. You know what I'm saying? And I actually had like stepped out to Connecticut. I was going to University of Hartford, and I was just going through it. Like, times was kind of hard for my family, and it was kind of hard on campus. So I just started kind of like writing to really express myself, in a sense of the things I had to say for music. You know what I'm saying? And not music, but for life, like things I had to say in life. Like, oh, I feel like me saying this, just helped me cope with certain situations in my life. And from that, like, I kind of just fell in love with the art of really telling my story. Right. And the fact that I could tell a story and it could like motivate somebody else out there that might possibly be going through a similar thing. Even though I don't know them, I feel like that was crazy. Like, wow, like I can say something and help somebody else get through something, that doesn't even know me. Like, that's crazy.
Right.
And I just kept going.
Was it a process in trying to find that balance within your music? Because you make songs like Pray, but you make songs like Bout That.
Right.
So was there ever a thing to find that balance?
I'm still kind of like coping with that balance. For me, it was like when I look at it and when I really think about, from the time I started, I always actually made life music. Like from the beginning, like my first 10 songs, my first album probably had no club records on it at all.
Right.
And like at that point in time, I was still finding myself as an artist and growing. But, it's kind of like when you speak to people, they'll tell you like, oh, you need this kind of record. You need this record for to really be in this industry, especially coming out of New York. Because like most of the artists of this like generation that came out in New York kind of blew off of like this one club record. You know what I mean? Like there's not really nobody that I could really point out from New York that actually blew on like a J. Cole or Drake kind of tip within the past 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that's still doing their thing, like a Joey Badass. And
I was going to ask your definition of blow. Like,
like to me, like, I mean, I respect Joey all day. He's a real humble dude. I've been encountered him a couple times at a couple shows. But his music's a little different than like, I feel like he has his lane as far as like the underground. Like he likes that lane. That's where he wants to be. Now in reference to like a J. Cole or a Drake, I feel like they actually talk about life, but within them talking about life, they also wanted to be in a mainstream and kind of take it to a mainstream level, which like I respect that 100%. And I feel like that's kind of somewhere where I fit in, as well as Big Sean. I think he does that too. But like me, I've never smoked in my life. I don't drink. So like to really want to make club records was not really my thing. You know what I'm saying? Because when I grew up in the clubs, we'd be at Missouri and Queens and 360 and all these clubs. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
Make me feel old, man. Make me feel old.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was fights and girls and Jamaican music. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really like, I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. Like that wasn't my thing. So like talking about the club, I feel like with the struggle that I've been through in these last 5 years, trying to pursue this music thing, I didn't have nothing exciting to really talk about in the club, like in a club record. Like I'm not about to tell you about. I don't want to make a whole song about just popping bottles and girls and you know what I mean. Like I'm not celebrating because times is hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see the need in me having to pay $400 or $500 to get a bottle just to show somebody or make people think that I'm popping or I got more money than I actually have when I could take that money and put it into my career. Right. I never really thought that was the way to go until you were actually in a certain point, and then it's like, all right, well, I'm actually having fun in the clubs now because I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I would try to balance it out, and like a lot of the records that I did do that were kind of like club records were just like New York records. Right. And like I really just tried to embody the New York feel and kind of really just pay homage to where I'm from.
When you hear of New York hip hop now, it's kind of like, okay, here's another New York rapper.
Yeah. Turn up.
Right, turn up. We don't have that identity anymore. When I heard About That, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was never at the tunnel. I was too young.
Right.
But I figure a record like this would be played at the tunnel.
100%.
You know, I
100%.
felt like this record deserves, you know, all the accolades he got because it's a New York-based record.
Definitely appreciate
The
that.
beat felt like I was in Harlem. I was in the Bronx.
Yeah.
I was in Brooklyn. You know, it felt like home.
Right.
I want you to talk about how that record came together and what made you want to feature Troy Ave and Mano on that because they went stupid too.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
100%.
Very New York.
100%.
Yeah.
So I was working with a guy named Shatik. Shout out to Shatik. Shatik, the director. He owns a company called Beats on Film. He shoots music videos. He's well known for producing like the Throw It in the Bag remix for Fab, and X is Gonna Give It to You for DMX.
Wow.
Now he's more on the film side. But you know, we were doing some work together. He plugged me with a producer from Southside, Brooklyn originally, Southside now, named JR. And JR threw me a couple beats. And I'm gonna be honest, like I really had this record that I wanted to do with Nipsey Hussle. And I had like opened up on a couple show days with Nipsey, and I had like the plug, and I had everything. Like everything was on deck, and it just something went wrong, like where his tour bus broke down or something the day we were supposed to do the feature, and then they had to take care of that, and then it was like, all right, and then Shatik kept telling me like, yo, nah, you should do the Troy, not Nipsey, because you're from New York, you know, it'd just be a better look.
Was it
So
it that same beat?
It was the same belt.
That you wanted to get?
For
Oh,
Nipsey
okay.
it was something different.
Right. Okay.
And then I was like, all right, you know, you've been in this a long time, you know, cool. You know, I like Troy. You know, I rock with his music. I respect his grind. So let's do it. And we did that, and we originally featured a girl named Cayenne on there. And
Who's dope too?
yeah, Cayenne's dope. For
fire.
sure. And it was moving, and it was like, wow, like the record's moving. Like I got it on radio, and it was dope because I actually got it on radio, and like at that point in time, like me and Vito were just locking in, you know, you know, it was like a lot of running around that I was able to do kind of like on my own, and like I hit like 5 major radio stations. Hot 93.7 in Connecticut was playing it every day. Hot 93.7 in Buffalo, Power 106 in Rhode Island, you know, James 94.5 in Boston. And it was like, wow, like I'm on the radio. Like I'm really on the radio. Like I got a media-based chart. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't seem, you know, possible. And it was like, man, like the record was moving, and we wound up eventually putting Mano on there. Shout out to Hood. You know, we reached out to Hood, and Hood made it happen for us. And it was just dope. It was like, wow, you know, like I always felt like it was a good record. Even the crazy thing is my grandmother texted me and said, she calls me Sputnik. That's like a rocket ship, like from back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was her first grandson, so she called me Sputnik. So she was like,
Spud.
Spud. You crazy. So she was like, Spud, I really feel like that record is like gonna be the record that's gonna like get you there. Like, and you know, to this day, I still feel like, you know, it didn't go everywhere I wanted it to go. You know, it's really hard, you know, with politics and, you know, stations, and Hot 97 is very hard to get on, you know, and it was like we're in New York. You know, essentially I feel like we needed Hot 97 because it was a New York record. You know, and certain people got behind it. Flex threw it on his app. Camilo threw it on his app. DJ Walla dropped it. Drewski dropped it, you know, and people were supporting it. But I feel like a lot of people tell me like now they're like, yo, like that record is still gonna like
Fire.
go somewhere like
It's stupid.
like they, you know, they're like, yo, I'm telling you that you should really promote that for this summer coming up. Like I feel like that record is still gonna go somewhere. You know, and that's cool. You know, if it's meant to happen, it'll definitely happen. As an artist, you know, you get kind of impatient, like, oh, my record's been out 5 months, I'm tired of it. You know, but a lot of these artist records don't blow up till 2 years later.
Very
and
true.
It's like that's
Trap
like
Queen
normal.
took a full year.
Yeah, exactly. Even Dej Loaf, you know, like
Try Me
was out for like a year and some change.
Pesos, Rocky,
a lot
you know?
of these records. So you know, you never know what can happen. I do got another record that we're dropping actually on Hot 97 this Sunday.
Yeah.
I feel like if you like about that, this record right here is
it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's a little
and
crazy.
It's featuring some of the dopest up and coming MCs
right
from New York. And I just had a show, a Raekwon show that I hosted with
I saw that.
one
SOBs.
of them. Yeah, SOBs with Dave East. And Dave East, man,
he went off.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's his element and where he's from. He embodies that
100%.
and you can hear it when he said, "I started on the corner."
Yeah, you feel
just
it.
make that like
like
I was there.
Yeah, for real. He did. I remember.
Right, exactly. right. Without even being there, but you know, and then you have Trey Pizzy, who's killing in the streets
Killing.
too.
Yep, that's my guy.
Okay, so talk about this record, and then this record is gonna be on your 2016 release,
Yes, on
Farewell.
Yep,
okay,
absolutely.
so let's talk about that record.
Basically, you know, I've been talking about it for a while. I've been talking to Vito, and I was like, yo, I want to do a record. Because me being from Long Island, we're like one of the most, you know, doubted places in all of New York.
Which
You know
is
what I'm saying? And
crazy.
it's like,
Rakim, EPMD.
But we don't got nobody that really went all the way in our generation. You know, shout out to Rick the Villain, my man Mike
Rick the
Davis. You know,
Villain.
they doing their thing.
Mhm.
But, you know, the reality is reality. Like, nobody went, like, as far as, like, a Troy or, you know, like,
That's true.
like, you know, that far, like, to really, really go.
Mhm.
Or should I say, like, not saying, because I don't want to take away from their talent, because I definitely
Right.
don't think it's that. But it's just,
Talking about like
Long Island is just doubted, you know, like
Yeah.
like a lot in the industry. And I wanted to do something where I felt like, you know, everywhere else, there's like a lot of unity. Anywhere else I go, you know what I'm saying? Like, I go to LA, I go to Atlanta, like, I feel like there's a lot of unity between the city. Like, you know, shout out to DJ Charisma. Like, look what she did with Young California, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kid Ink, Ty Dolla $ign, YG, you know, all of these people blew up, like, essentially together, you know what I'm saying? Like, in the same time frame, and they all knew each other, you know, like, they came up, Janae Aiko, Kid Ink, they went to school together, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, you know what I mean? Like, and for them to blow up together, like, I feel like that's unity. The only thing that could really do that is unity. And I wanted to really just try to, with this record, bring unity to New York, because I feel like it's not there all the way. You know, a lot of the artists that are buzzing now kind of got issues, you know, like the Troy, Manola Rose thing. You know, it's like, it's a lot of things. And I feel like, you know, it's all love. Everybody's doing their thing. You feel me? So, like, why not show unity between the two? And it's cool, man. Like, you know, me being from Long Island, you know, Pizzy's from the Bronx. East is from Harlem. Shout out to my man Mike Classic. He's from Queens. Me and Classic knew each other for some years from high school. And I felt like it was dope, man, to really just bring all of us together. Even, you know, just not only unity between the city, but also, like, street stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I growing up, you know, I was a Blood, Trey Pizzy and East, a Crip. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, there's love. You know what I mean? Like, it's not all about that. We're more focused on, you know, changing the culture and doing what we're doing for our city. You know what I'm saying? And just showing, I feel like showing that to the outside, you know, just lets the younger people know, like, yo, you know, it's not all about that no more. You know what I'm saying? We're growing up and, you know, we're bringing unity to the city, man. We all rocking together. I support their music to the fullest. I don't care what color they bang. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think
if it's dope,
they're
it's
talented
dope.
artists, and I feel like they deserve to everything that they have coming. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to, you know, bring that out and bring it to the city, I feel like it's gonna be a crazy, crazy, crazy feeling. And shout out to Buddha and Grant, you know, Buddha the Future. They produced it, and you know they're going crazy. They produced Buddha and Grant's produced. What's the name of the song? Jada's new record with Nipsey Hussle and Neo. You know that he got that out right now. They got the new Nino Man. They got numerous records with Dave, and you know they're killing. You know what I'm saying? And you know to be able to have them on it as well is like, I just feel like it just embodies New York. Period. Because you know Buddha and Grants are all about that New York sound. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to have them on it and then bring all the boroughs together, like I feel like it's crazy. You know?
All right.
100%.
What's the name of the record?
It's called New York.
It's called New York.
Yep.
Okay. You got the hook? Can you spit the hook real quick?
Yeah, I can do part of it.
You do part of the hook? Yeah.
So it's like, you know, word around my city, we don't play. All my niggas stacking chips like Frito-Lay. Niggas talking on the side, it's DOA. These niggas hating from the side, we live and die in New York. We run the city, run the town, New York. You gotta hear with the beat, man.
I know. I put you on the spot.
It's a different vibe, like,
right?
You gotta hear with the beat, but it's real New York, man. Like it's definitely real New York. And the illest thing about it is the fact that we're all from different places. Like when I sent it to Pizzy was like, "Whoa, this beat's crazy, boy!" Like he was like, "Yo, what's the context of the record? Like what direction you want me to go?" And you know, he's from the Bronx 80 side. Like that's his gang. That's his team. And I told him, I texted him back, said, "Yo, bro, talk that 80 side shit." He was like, "Heard. Say less.
No more." Right.
Say less, bro. Let's do it. Same thing with East. East talk that fly Harlem shit. Classic talk that Queen shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for us to all just tell our story from where we're from and bring that together, I feel like it's like crazy. You know, like I don't feel like nobody's really done that in the past, especially upcoming artists. People that are on already, maybe, but like not the artists that are coming up. Like I never really seen that in my time. You know what I'm saying? So.
All right, so is this record gonna make me go in my closet and pull my North Face out?
100%. 100%.
I'm pulling the North Face out?
100%. 100%.
All right, well,
I mean, I got it right here.
Hey, well, look, when we get off cam, we gonna play it because I need to feel like I'm gonna put that North Face on.
Bro, it's definitely
okay.
Man, you might go get some what's them joints called, man? What's those boots?
Beef and broccoli's?
Nah, deeper.
Gore-Tex?
No, not Vortex. The ski boots, the joints that everybody was rocking in high school. You know what I'm talking about? They had the lavender color joints. They had the lime green ones. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't. Somebody gonna put it in the comments. I can't think of it. Yeah,
it's definitely New York. But I feel like it's a type of record where it will be respected everywhere. It's not even just like, oh, they're from New York, so we're from Cali, we don't rock with it. Like I feel like it's just a good feeling record. Like it just makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll go, man. I definitely think it's gonna do its thing. Everybody I played it to so far, you know, I brought it to Vito and Vito stopped it, like, and played it back. Like, no,
I was like, nah,
I gotta run that back.
Yeah,
you feel me?
hear that.
Yeah. So it got that feeling, man. It definitely got that feeling. Definitely 100%.
All right. Well, I'm excited to hear that, and I'm also excited to hear Farewell. Real quick, why name your album Farewell? Are you leaving? Is this like, what are you doing?
I remember you saying that in the drop.
Right.
Like, where you going?
I never got the answer.
Right. So
I did a drop.
What it is?
Never got the answer.
So what it is, you know, I feel like I've been through a lot, just coming up now. You know, not only growing up, but also music wise, and I feel like there's a lot of people out here who have gone through a lot and they're just holding on to things. And sometimes when you hold on to things, it stops you from getting where you're really trying to go because your mind is so much caught up in what you're going through that you're not thinking about the solution to where you're going. And like with that being said, I kind of felt like Farewell was like letting go of the things that hold you down, whoever it is, not just me, but the listeners, like whatever it is that holds you back or you feel holds you back. Like Farewell is kind of saying, you know, goodbye to the old things and we're moving on to bigger and better things. And that was really my whole concept with it. You know, like I say, you know, like everybody has problems. Everybody has things that we go through. And I feel like a lot of people, when you're going through it, you don't really think about that. Like, oh, it's not just me. Like everybody has problems. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all going through things. And, you know, I just kind of wanted to do something that, you know, showed some of my problems and the things I went through and kind of showed that, look, even though I came from there, I could be here in Hot 97 right now. You know what I'm saying? And so can you if you put your mind to that and you decide, like, let's let go. You know what I'm saying? So I was putting out Farewell and I was just like, yo, let's let go together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not by yourself. Like, let's do this together. Let's all move on to bigger and better things in the new year. And just with our lives, period. You know, whether it be you're graduating to school or whatever it is. And actually put something out there and just had people like sending me letters, like a paragraph about, you know, things that they were letting go. And it was crazy, like some of the stories that I got from people that I've never seen, spoke to at all, you know what I'm saying? And that really, really touched me, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'll definitely let you see some of them, you know, off. But like, people were, you know, like just telling me like things that they were going through. And they were like, you know, I've never told anyone this.
Right.
But you're like a random person, you know, like you're an artist. And like the fact that nobody in my life has really cared to even hear the things that I've gone through.
Right.
And the fact that you're opening your ear to listen to somebody you don't know, like, I really appreciate that. You know, and they would tell stories, and I'm just like, whoa, like, that's crazy. You know, like, you know, there was a girl telling me about how she got stabbed, you know, like her senior year, and she had to miss prom, and, you know, she felt like she let her mother and family down because her mother was a single mother, and her mother asked her to be careful at parties, and she just felt like she just went into depression mode because she felt like she let her mother and her family down, and, you know, like, and now she's doing a lot better, and she's grown and been able to really, you know, get her life back on track and even go further to where she desired to go. And it was like, you know, like, to see that, man, to see that you could touch people, like I said, through words and things that you're actually, you know, doing in life, like, to me, that was amazing. To me, that's worth way more than money. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean, this convo was extremely enlightening. I feel like I got a peek into, you know, who you are, and I hope everybody else got a peek into seeing who Fresh is. So, Fresh, I want you to tell this camera, tell everybody where they can follow you.
Cool. So, my social networks is Brodie Fresh. It's BRODIE. FRESH. It's BrodieFresh.com. Brodie Fresh on Twitter and Instagram. SoundCloud, you know, pretty much everywhere. If you get lost, you can go to my website. It has links to everything else.
And this is that'senough.com, and we out.
Yeah.
Peace.